Hi everyone and welcome back. We're just about to head into the finale of TharnType. But before we get there, I hope everyone is safe and sound. And if you can self-isolate, then please do. Please wash your hands, sanitize them. Make sure that you do not leave your house unless it's essential and that you need to. I know in terms of work that can be very hard. But if you can work from home, please do. Please wear a mask when you're outside. We don't want to spread the coronavirus any more than it already is. We're in a soft lockdown over here, which will become, I guess, stricter as the days go on because people are still not listening and still heading out in large groups of people, having parties, doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. This is a serious thing that's now claimed the lives of thousands of people. So please, especially if you have people who are high risk, do not put them in danger. And now we're going to go on to TharnType. We're at the finale. I think this has gotten better each episode. I feel the last 3 to 4 episodes were really, really good. And it's built into what I think is going to be a fantastic finale episode. I would consider this probably in my top 10 BLs. It's the main actors. I feel like you would not realise that they're acting, that they are a real couple. And I don't find that with all of the BL actors, even outside of the show. Because some of these actors are so amazing that when you see them in a show and then you see them out, you are shocked at how different, not just how their personalities are, but how they are with one another. Whereas with these two, they do such a good job in drawing you in that you forget. Now we know Long is going to be caught out. It's all going to come out. He's going to have to admit what he did, but I'm not sure how it comes out. Does Tharn have a trick up his sleeve? Did Tar tell him everything? Did he figure out himself just by reactions that Long has to certain words or phrases or actions that Type Tharn has done? I think this is going to be a roller coaster of emotions, and it's 90 minutes, which means it's a very, very long episode. So I think we should just get to this. And before we do, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to, you can see full reactions on Patreon to this. I also have Theory of Love, that is on there, and then we are heading to the final episode of that. And just before we get started again, I will be reacting. My next BL reactions will be Why Are You the series. That will be on YouTube, and Together the series on Patreon only. That way people on Patreon get a bit more beneficial elements to what I'm doing than just the same YouTube channels. I will probably, at the end of this, not this episode, but at the end of everything, a review of both TharnType and Theory of Love. So I may ask for your questions if there's anyone who actually is watching. Well, that's rich coming from you. The way they did this last scene was fantastic. Just how much emotion went into it. And then the revelation. See, look, I said this before in the long episode, they changed the camera angle. Now it's straighter as it goes back. I said it before that he is dramatic, but you can see he's heartbroken. Because he's not really that emotional. We don't really see him cry. And this is what I mean about how Tharn is naive, but he's got a heart of gold. And he will try to do anything for anyone. We know. We know. They have such a nice house. That's all I can think about right now. I know, not the person you want to speak to. I know Long thinks it comes across as if he's helping, but it comes across as obsessed. Also, I always think this, with how much the veins show on Mew's arms, does he just come straight from the gym in the film?
มึงกลับมาด่ากูเถอะนะยอมมันทุกอย่าง
You know Type cares when he curses at you.
มึงจะด่าอะไรกูก็ได้ไอ้โง่ทาง
Yeah, not all of us can afford to just throw a phone in a pool, but you know, great. Yeah, I'd cry too if I just threw my phone in a pool. It's better that he cries it all out than keeps it in and then just explodes
ไม่
at
ถึงขนาด
people.
นั้นเราอะ
ครับพี่ ผมมาที่นี่ครั้งก่อน
Just can't stay away, can you?
ห้ามครับนี่พี่ทอนยังเรียกน้องธัญญาว่าเจ้าหญิงอีกเหรอครับ
ทำไมอะพี่ก็กล่าวว่าจะเด็กกันไปเรื่อยมันก็น่ารักดีออก
Okay.
ก็จริงครับ
I'll let you believe that.
รอพี่แป๊บนึงแล้วกัน
The way Torn looks at Long,
ครับ
I feel like he knows he's not to be trusted. He's very smart, the brother. He picks up on things in a very quiet, subtle manner. I get it, he wants a family like this. But put the picture down. You know, it's not your property.
ในฉากจัง
Well, you would be if you didn't have a family that loves you the same way his Farms does. See, it just always comes back to him to family. That's what it's about.
เพื่อนเจ้าทานน่ะก็เหมือนน้องของพี่ถ้าชอบที่เนี่ย
Not the right one to be saying it to. But I think he needed to hear that
ได้ดิ
a long time ago. I think if he had heard that, he would have
แล้ว
maybe thought differently to certain degrees.
ไอ้ทานมันหลับอยู่อะ
Long puts himself on this pedestal where he's above everyone else in Tharn's life. It's not how it works, but you know, you can believe in that if it makes you sleep better
เรา
at
เข้าใจ
night.
หลงมากที่คอยอยู่เป็นเพื่อนมันตลอด
Now, all Thai actors tall. I swear that, apart from Gunn, all of them are quite tall. Are Thai people in general quite tall? But he
มันไม่
doesn't.
เคยต้องการผมเลยอะ
Yes, he doesn't see you in that way. He just wants you as a friend. They are. They're switching the music from sad to ominous. So something's going to happen.
ใจ
They've all got really nice hair.
มีอะไรวะ
ถามจริงนี่มึงไปมีเรื่องใครมา
Why does he always want something from
เปล่าเลย
Type?
ทำไมวะ
กูเห็นมีคนมาลองอยู่หน้าตึกอะแล้วถามหาท้าย
Okay, this time it's not to ask him to help him study.
แล้วใครมารอกูอะ
อะไรของมันวะ
เอาจริงๆนะไอ้แชมป์กูก็ไม่รู้
I'd like these two to be a couple.
กูงงไปหมดแล้วเนี่ย
นี่น้ำใครอะอยากได้ปะ
I think they would be a good couple.
ไถ
ย้อน
Ah.
พี่ขอคุยด้วยหน่อยสิ
I can't tell if Type's afraid of him or not.
พี่ไม่อยากจะเข้ามายุ่งวุ่นวายเรื่องเราสองคนหรอกนะ
Yeah, but he is your family.
พี่แค่ทานมันร้องไห้ น้องพี่อะที่ไม่เคยเห็นน้ำตามันก่อนกำลังร้องไห้เราจะถามมันน้ำ
Yeah, he's not a crying
พลา
type.
ดอะไรไม่ได้ยังบอกเลิกมัน
Yeah, sometimes. Tharn is like that. When he likes someone or
กับ
something,
แม่ที่มีเจ้าหญิง
he does become very attached. He doesn't like to lose it.
ไม่ใช่น้องเล็กอีกต่อไปแล้วนี่ ทานไม่เคยร้องไห้เลยนะ
Wow.
พี่เสียแดด
Strong sentiments.
หรือว่าพี่เห็นเจ้าหญิงอะมันร้องไห้จะเป็นจะตายตอนเลิกกับไทย
Wait, so you saying Tharn cares more about Type than his own family? Or just that his feelings are so strong for Type?
น้องพี่มีตรงไหนวะ
พี่สัญญาผมได้ไหมว่าถ้าเกิดผมเล่าเรื่องนี้ให้พี่ฟังพี่จะไม่เอาเรื่องนี้ไปบอกไอ้ทาน
เขาว่าไงอะ
Okay, so it's this. So he has a scheme afoot here. So does he know what Long? Well, he must know what Long did. Tar must have told him, and this is his way of getting back at Long, but he can't tell Tharn. So I'm quite curious what type of
ผม
trap
ไม่ติดหรอกพี่
Type is laying out for Long.
อืม
Because Long is now panicking because Tharn has never been like this, I
อะไรกัน
guess.
วะไอ้คันมันหายไปกี่วันแล้ววะเนี่ย
Yeah, see, I'm guessing he usually turns to Long when he gets dumped, but this time it's
เต้น
different.
อย่าว่าไอ้ทานได้ปะงั้นมึงบอกไปดิออกไปเลยไม่เอาพี่หลง
Someone's unraveling.
ทะเลาะกันมึง
Why is Long is very,
มึงก็รู้นี่เก่ง
very
ที่สุดในวงนี้
shook.
ไม่ใช่กูไม่ใช่ไอ้สองและที่สำคัญนะเว้ยไม่ใช่มึงอะ
Okay, calm
ไอ้ทานอาหาร
down.
ที่เก่งที่สุดอะ
You know.
ไอ้ทานทำไม่รู้มึงกวนตีนกูใช่ปะมึงจอใช่ปะ
พี่เต้
กลับ
พ
มา
อ
ดิ
แล้วพี่
กลับมาดิ
พี่เต้พอแล้วพี่
Yeah, see, this is the real Long. That nasty little attitude he has there, the faces he makes, is the real him.
ของก็ดูมันดิ
You can only put a mask on for so long before it,
ผมเป็นห่วงพี่
you know,
ทาน
cracks.
พี่
And
ทา
it's
นเล่นหายไป
cracking.
ติดต่อไม่ได้แบบเนี้ย
Is this Tar? Oh, it's Techno. Is that Type? It's interesting how Tharn reacts and how Type reacts to their breakup. Type has become very silent,
นี่มึงจะ
withdrawn,
นานไหมวะ
and Tharn's the opposite.
กู
He's
ทำเหี้ยอะไรอยู่วะ
crying, he's letting out his emotions.
ค้างเลยน้อง
Oh,
3 ครั้งเลยวะ
3 times they've broken up and he hates to be broken up with.
กูจะบอกเลิกแค่3 ครั้งเท่านั้น
มึงจะเลิกคบตอนนี้ก็คงไม่ทันนะ
Techno's a good guy.
ใจมากมึง
Okay. Is he still trying to get a hold of him?
ไม่เป็นไรไอ้ทานคงเป็นแบบนี้
Behind you.
ให้เวลามันได้ลงไอ้หลง
So it is a trap. Smart.
ไอ้ไทยกูว่ามึงคิดใหม่เรื่องเลิกกับไอ้ทานก็ได้นะเว้ย
Oh, so sly.
มึงคิดงั้นจริงเหรอวะ กูก็บอกมึงแต่วันนั้
And
น
this is
แล้ว
how you catch your prey.
ว่าให้คิดดีๆ เรื่องเลิกกันอะแล้วถ้ามึงจะมาคิดได้ตอนเนี้ย ก็คงไม่ทันแล้วไหม
No, it's not.
ตอนแรกๆ ไอ้ทานมันก็ทำใจไม่ได้หรอก แต่ตอนเนี้ยมันดีขึ้นมากกันนะเว้ย
See, this is what did I say about his lies and him not being a good liar?
มันทำใจเรื่องของมึงได้แล้วอะ
Well,
แล้วถ้ามึงจะกลับไปตอนนี้เนี่ยนะ มึงพูดงั้นเหรอ
yeah, his brother is saying different things.
กูนี่ได้ยินมาเต็ม2 หูเลยว่ะ
How does he think he gets away with all these lies? I mean, he's a
แต่
terrible
มึงไม่เชื่อ
liar.
กูก็ได้นะเว้ยไอ้ไทย กูขอโทษนะ ที่ต้องพูดความจริงอะ
Well, tell it then. Tell the truth.
ที่กูพูด
Stop
เพราะ
lying.
ว่ากูหวังดีกับทั้งมึงแล้วก็ไอ้ทานนะเว้ย หวังดีเหี้ยอะไร อะไรของมึงเนี่ย อะไรไว้ไทย
He really is sociopathic.
คือมึงทะเลาะกับไอ้ทานแล้วพานมาหาเรื่องกูงี้เหรอ มึงนี่โคตรตอแหลเลย
Mm-hmm.
มึงโง่กว่าซบเลย ที่หลง เชื่อคำคนอย่างมึงมาเป็นเดือน
Did you really believe him
มันจะ
though?
มากเกินไปแล้วนะ
You never seem to truly believe
มากเกิน
him.
ไปอ่ะพวกมึงอะเลว
Then why would you do that to another human being? I mean, we know why, because he's a...
ก็จะเป็นสาเหตุให้พวกพี่เลิกกัน เฮ้ย ไอ้ไทย
See, I knew he'd tell him.
เงียบก่อนพี่โน
See?
ผมพูดไม่ได้ สุดท้ายผมก็หนีความจริงที่เคยถูกโดนลุมโซมไม่ได้อยู่ดีอ่ะ
นี่มึงจะเชื่อคำของคนที่ทำให้มึงเลิกกับไอ้ทานหรอ
Okay.
มึงนี่โง่กว่าที่กูคิดอีกนะ
กูไม่ได้โง่ เฮ้ยอ๋อตกลง ไอ้น้องตา
And his t-shirt
มันเป็นน้อง
literally is
เพื่อนร่วม
what
ต่อไอ้ทานปะ
Tar needs right
เดี๋ยว
now.
กูสรุปให้มึงฟังอีกรอบเลยพอไปขอไอ้ทานครบ ทานก็ดันตอบตกลง
Oh, look how jealous he is
หา
there.
หิวอะไรก็ไม่รู้วิ่งไปอ้วกเลยนะเว้ย
It's better to believe someone than to accuse them of lying or something like that.
ไม่หรอกพวกมันไม่ได้เล่นละคร น่ารังเกียจ น่าขยะแขยง เหม็น สกปรก มึงไม่ต้องพูดละ
Damn, this is a good episode.
อย่าให้แผนของมันสำเร็จ
มันที่ว่านี่ใครวะ
คนคนนั้นคือคนที่พี่ทานไว้ใจ ยิ่งกว่าผม
And there's only one person. Yeah, there's
เป็น
only
คนที่อ
one
ยู่
person
ข้าง
who has
ทางมาต
that.
ลอด แล้วผมไม่เคยสังเกต
โชคดีพอ ที่เพื่อนกูอะดันรู้จักไอ้ชาติชั่วพวกนั้น
Yeah, okay.
แค่ให้เงินมัน มันก็ยอมปิดปาก
Is he lying here or did he actually do
จ้า
that?
งให้มันทำเฮ้ยโนว่า
No way they've been recording that for just a minute.
โอ้ย
Oh yeah, yeah, he doesn't
ถาม
know.
ไหมเนี่ย
Yeah, they are together.
แต่ตอนเนี้ยมึงถือมือถือไว้นิ่งๆพอยไทยสั่งไว้ว่า ต้องถ่ายเก็บเอาไว้ให้หมด ถึงทานจะไม่ยกโทษให้กู แต่มันก็จะกลับไป
And never to you long.
ส่วนมึง เป็นแค่หมาเห่าเครื่องบินอยู่เงี้ยมึงไม่มีวันทำได้
Don't turn your back on him.
มึงได้ยินไหม มึงไม่มีวันชนะกู
See, never turn your back on him.
โน้ช่วยมันโอ๊ยไม่ได้ไอ้แชมป์ห้ามมึงถ่ายเก็บไว้ มึงต้องถ่ายเก็บไว้ก่อน
Him hitting him is evidence enough.
ขอร้องเนี่ย
Tharn. You can tell by the veins and the ring on the finger. Yeah, look, the music is completely different. That looked like a good punch.
มึงได้ยินไหมว่ามันเป็นของกูอยู่กันทางมา4 ปี
4 ปีที่เขาไม่เคยเห็น
Oh, it's only 4 years.
หุบปากมึงหุบปากไปเลยนะ
God, it's so... Didn't realise he was so strong.
กูเชื่อใจเลยครับทุกอย่าง
No, you don't.
กูคนเดียวที่รักมัน ไม่มีใครเหมาะสมกับไอ้ทานนอกจากกูหรอก
If you loved him, you wouldn't do what you did to him.
ไม่มีสิทธิ์หรอก
มึงวันที่ชาติชั่ว
Mm-hmm.
ไอ้ทานไม่วันเอา
He's a lot more dangerous than I gave him credit for.
ไม่ได้ยินไหมว่ามึงคนเดี
So
ยว
good. Such a
มึ
good
งไม่ได้
scene.
หมาขี้แพ้กูไม่ได้แพ้
กูทำผ่าที่ชนะ
Wait, he's gonna hit him with that rock. That's new to the scene.
แล้วมึงก็ยิงกูหมดเลยไอ้ลบ ไม่แย่งลูกไอ้
แล้วมึงมาได้ไงวะ
เอาไปก่อน
Let me guess, his brother told him, because his brother can't keep his mouth quiet. In this instance, it was good. It's a good thing he told him. Oh, look at that look.
ใจเย็นๆนะมึง
We're going to see him be angry.
ไอ้ทานมึงอย่ามองกูแบบนี้ที่กูหลงเพื่อนรักมึงไงไอ้ทานมึงอย่ามองกูแบบนี้
There we go. It's about time.
ก็มันยั่วโมโหกูอ่ะกูเลยโมโหแทนมึงไงมึงเชื่อกูนะมึงเชื่อกูนะไอ้ทาน
But your lies are just terrible.
คนที่ทำร้ายทุกคนที่อยู่ข้างกูเนี่ยนะให้กูเชื่อมึงเหรอ
ก็เพราะไม่มีใครดีพอสำหรับมึงไง
ดีหรือไม่ดีไม่ใช่เรื่องของมึงป่ะ
ไม่มีใครรักจริงๆเลยทานไม่มีใครเหมาะสมกับมึงเลยเร็วทุกคน
Wrong. No, you are truly evil.
มึงบอกว่ามึงทำอะไรนะ มึงทำอะไรพวกนั้นไอ้หลง
กูรู้ว่ามึงก็เห็นว่าคนสำคัญน่ะ มึงเลิกกับไอ้พวกนั้นได้ แต่มึงเลิกคบกับกูไม่ได้หรอก
But he doesn't want
เพื่
you.
อนที่อยู่ข้างมึงแบบนี้ไม่ได้หรอกไอ้ทาน
And he doesn't need a friend like you by his side. He's so warped.
มึงสำคัญสำหรับกูนะไอ้หลง แต่ไม่ใช่แบบที่มึงคิด
See how he quickly changes his whole demeanor?
มันเอากับผู้ชายคนไหนก็ได้ มึงต้องเห็นว่ามันมีความสุขแค่ไหน มันนี่โคตรขยะแขยงเลยมันที่ต้องเห็น
And yet you still got these people to rape him.
ไอเด็กนั่นน่ะ
I knew he was going to blame himself. He always does. He always thinks it's his fault.
กูไม่ยุ่งกับหน้า
You can't blame yourself for having a psychotic best friend.
มึงหยุดโทษตัวเองได้แล้วไอ้ทาง
Yeah, right? Why would you blame yourself? Come on. Blame him.
ไม่ใช่มึง มึงเอาผมไม่ได้นะไอ้ทานมึงเอาผมไม่ได้นะ
Then you need to leave. Well, actually, you need to go to
เป็น
jail.
ต้นเหตุของเรื่องทั้งหมดนี้อย่าเล่นกับกูนะอย่าเล่นกับกูนะไอ้ไทย
มึงได้ยินแล้วใช่ไหม มึงจะต้องทำร้ายท่านอีกสักกี่ครั้งวะถึงจะพอใจอ่ะ
Such a good
ยุ่งเลยท่าน
scene.
อีก
ไอ้ทานมึงได้ไอ้ทานมึงทำมึงได้ไอ้ทาน
No, you think you love him.
แต่กูไม่ได้รักมึง
บอกเอง ในเมื่อกูอยู่ข้างมึงไม่ได้
No, you need to go to jail.
ทุกอย่างก็ไม่มีความหมายไม่ได้
This must have been super draining for the actor to continuously cry for this period of time. I mean, for me, you can't feel sorry for long, but it highlights how damaged he is as a human being. It's interesting that they put the music back to how it was, which means it must get better from here on out. And I was wrong.
สไปได้กลับมาจากเยอรมันแล้วจ้า
sister?
หลง
Wait, he has siblings?
อามาก็ไม่เคยรักผมเฮียกับเจ้ก็ไม่เคยสนใจผม
Oh, he has a brother as well.
ถ้าไม่เห็นผมเป็นลูกผมเจ็บผมโดนละมาด
Yeah, you really are.
มีใครรู้บ้างไหม
I don't agree with anything he's done. It shows how truly
ไม่อยากอยู่แล้ว
bad he became as a human being.
ก็ได้นะ
But this scene,
ผมไม่เหลืออะไรแล้ว
I mean, he's never felt he's had anything.
ใครบอกว่าแก
To
ไม่เหลือ
love
แกยังเหลือเจ๊กับเพียไม่เคยรู้อ่ะว่าแกทรมานขนาดนี้อ่ะ
His family must be so self-absorbed that you can't even see when one of your members is hurting this badly. See, that's all he needed to hear. I love you. That's all he's ever needed to hear.
เอาดีเจ็บ
เสร็จแล้วเนี่ย
Whoever's doing the makeup for BLs is starting to get better. These are much more believable scratches and bruises.
ตอนที่กูไปกินเหล้าไปหลง
So he's known for quite a
แล้ว
while.
กูแกล้งเมา ไม่แล้ว กูเข็ดแล้ว ตอนที่กูขอเลิก
Yeah, Types had the biggest growth throughout this whole show.
มึงก็เลยชิงบอกเรื่องก่อนใช่ไหม
You could call it a fake breakup.
กูขอโทษ
ถ้าไม่ทอมไม่บอกกูอะ
See, I knew it. Yeah, that you can't tell Torn anything. He will just tell everyone.
ไหนว่าสัญญาแล้วไงวะ
Yeah, he's a big
มึงต้อง
mouth.
ชดใช้ความผิดของมึง
อืม
ต้องห้ามเรื่องตลอดชีวิต
Forever's a long time.
คบกันให้ตายไปข้างหนึง
I feel like if they were much older, they'd be like, should we just be together?
เออ กูจะรักมึงจนไม่ยอมทำตามแผนตัวเองมากกว่า
คือพูดว่าไงนะ
มึงจะถามซ้ำทำไมเนี่ย
ก็เมื่อกี้เนี้ย
Yeah, he never
เขาบ
says
อกรักกูอะ
he loves him. He always says, me too. Or,
มึง
yeah,
เคยบอกรักมึงเหรอ
okay.
กูรักมึงนะไอ้เหี้ยทาน
That's his special way.
ทำกูเจ็บอ่ะ
ปกติมึงชอบเจ็บไม่ใช่หรอทีมาบ่น
That's a different type of pain, though.
เห็นตัวบางๆงั้นอ่ะแม่งหมัดหนักชิบหายเลย
Well, when you're deranged, you're a lot stronger than you usually are.
มันเป็นคนเงียบๆไม่ชอบส่งเสียงกับใครกูนี่แหละเป็นฝ่ายเข้ามาหามาก่อนนะ
Yeah, but how was you to know he was going to cling to you in that way?
ที่บ้านมันให้อิสระ
Wait. Ah. This was their first time. Yeah, I have to say, these two actors really, they go, yeah, look, see? And you rarely ever see this with BL actors. It's usually quite awkward. One of them doesn't really kiss properly. So here we are. This is it, the last part of the finale.
แล้วมันจะไปเรียนต่อที่ฝรั่งเศส
And maybe now you won't be so jealous of him.
มึงนี่มันหน้าหมั่นไส้จริงๆเลยทาน
อะไรวะมันไส้อะไรขอดูดิ
ไม่
ขอดูหน่อย
So has he become friends with
ไว้
Tom?
มึงรู้ทีเดียวชาติหน้าเลยแล้วกัน
ชาติหน้าเลยไทยหมายความว่าไงเนี่ยไอ้ไทย
I want to see the picture.
ไปนอนได้แล้ว
Because whoever drew it, but it's amazing.
ไปอยู่นู่นน่ะ ตาต้องดูแลตัวเองดีๆรู้ไหม
See, there's a connection between them there.
เวลานอนก็ห่มผ้าหนาๆด้วย
This is a really nice moment between them two.
เพราะมีพี่ตั้มนะต้าถึงจะเป็นต้าอยู่ทุกวันเนี้ย
Yeah, there's definitely an attraction between both of them. Yes, look how nice that is.
ตั้มคือคนสำคัญที่สุดของต้านะ
ไม่ไหวว่ะวันเนี้ย
Ah, look, they're back.
กูสาวมาดูมึง แต่พวกมึงยุบวงเนี่ยนะ
These two are great. I wish they were in it
สา
more.
เนี่ยแทนที่จะดูไลฟ์คัมแบ็กเลยนะเว้ย
วันนี้เราไม่คุยเรื่องเครียดกันนะครับ เรามากินเหล้ากันนะเพื่อนๆนะ เดี๋ยวนักร้องนำเดี๋ยวก็หาได้ใหม่ได้แชมป์นะ
ว่าไงนะ
พูดนี่อะไรของมึงฟังไม่รู้เรื่อง
ว่าไงนะ
Yeah, these two should definitely be a
ถามจริง
couple.
เมื่อไหร่มึงจะหยุดแดกวะไอ้ชิบหายแดกไม่หยุดเลยเนี่ย มันจะทำอะไรของมันวะ จะรู้ไหมเนี่ยกูนั่งอยู่กับมึงเนี่ย
ที่เธอมองฉันบอกให้รู้ว่าเรารักกันไม่ว่าจะเกิดอะไรขอให้เธอเชื่อใจ
ง่วงมาแน่
อะไรอ่ะ
แล้วหรือเปล่า
He's horny.
จับให้แน่นๆแล้วกัน
Also, that's a sign of dominance. Okay. 3 years later. So this is when Love by Chance starts.
ดีเลย งั้นไปแดกข้าวกัน
He's always hungry.
มา4ใจ3เดี๋ยวกูแดกกับคูณ2เอง
Yeah, you do.
มึงใช้กระเป๋าตังค์ใบละ15,000
แต่ไม่
How much?
ยาซื้อหมูปิ้ง ไม้ละ5 บาท ไปเว้ย เราไปแดกกันเองเว้ย
Hmm?
แดกกันเอง
ไม่กูหมายถึงแดกข้าว
อ๋อโอเค
No, look who it is.
แล้วไหน
Wonder what
พ่อ
part
ผม
this is in Love by Chance.
เอ้าพี่ทัน
What part of the story?
ครับก็มันเป็นของผม
Ah.
ไปก่อนนะ เจอมันกัน
ครับเองคือว่าพี่ทานกับพี่ไทยเป็นแฟนกันหรือเปล่าครับ
แล้วพี่จะถามพี่อะทำไมเราต้องเขินเองเลย
ขับว่ะ โดยเฉพาะแฟนพวกมันนะ
So everyone is dating at this point.
แฟนในแคนนี่กับกู
Hmm.
กูเกลียดมึง
ก็แปลว่ามึงรักกู
กูโคตรเกลียดมึง
ก็แปลว่ามึงอะโคตรรักกู
เกลียดมึงที่สุดในโลกเลย
ก็แปลว่ามึงอะ
Feels like they're still in a honeymoon period after 3 years.
กูรักมึงนะ
กูก็รักมึง
Ah, different this time. Now his hands on top. So that was the end of TharnType, episode 12, and season 1. That was it. This is how we ended. This was easily my favourite episode. It's quite long, but I wasn't bored for a single minute throughout. I thought every single actor throughout the whole thing had a nice little part to play, be it a small role or large. And I like how it changed. I like how the opening was very somber, was very sad. The theme song was completely different from how it's been until literally halfway through this episode. So that was a nice change in pace. It was also nice to see Tharn so upset in a way. Obviously not great to see him cry, but to see him release those emotions, because he's not really one that we've seen cry too much. We've seen him cry here and there, but he seems to want to always hold it in and just be the smiley friend. And that's not how it happens in life. I can't believe he threw that phone. Just, that's how much money you have that you can throw a phone in a pool and then probably just get a new one the next day. There's so much to go through with this episode. I probably won't go through all of it now, because I don't really know who listens to these at the end. But it was great. I think the actor who plays Type really excelled in this episode. I mean, we got to see a real range of emotions, especially for someone so new into the business. He probably hasn't realised yet, might not realise for a few years, that this is probably a dream start for him into the business. I know it might seem a bit strange with what genre, because it's about two guys. So when he looks back, you might find that a bit embarrassing, because that's how he started. But he actually got a dream role. He got a role that a lot of people would kick themselves over if they weren't to take it. It's a dream role, even if it was a girl and a guy. Just the type of character that Type is, there's a lot to dig in, and there's a lot to unravel. It was nice as well that we got to see Tuan. Even though Tuan has a big mouth and really doesn't keep a secret, it was nice to see him at the beginning and have that brotherly moment. Tharn really needed someone who isn't a snake, someone who isn't there just to hurt him. And then we saw Long's obsession with him. He was at the house. Obviously, Tharn has never been like this before, we found out. He loves Type the most in the world. And I will say this, and this is just my opinion, you can tell how young they are. This whole be with me forever, why did he leave me, he loves him the most in the world. That's something when you're that age and you feel your world's going to end when you break up with someone. I feel like if they were older and they were in their late 20s, 30s, they wouldn't react that way. The emotions would be very different. And I know it's to cater to what audience they have, and the audience is gonna be younger. But I forget that because I know the actor of Mew is supposed to be 19, but he doesn't look it. That's not a bad thing. He looks great. He's a very handsome man. I'm not saying he looks his age. I'm just saying he doesn't look 19. You can tell he's not that young. Sometimes I forget, and then I remember, oh yeah, they are all supposed to be pretty young men. And you can tell just by how they interact. It's very run on a young energy. And things obviously change. Type definitely, for me, had the best story arc. We got to see him in all his bad lights and all his good lights and all in between. He was definitely all those different shades of grey that you need in a character. I really would like Techno and Champ to get together. I think they would be I think that would actually be a great series. Those two. Because they run off, the actors really do have great chemistry and they bounce off one another really well. And they argue like an old married couple. And some nice cameos, by the way, at the end, by the Love by Chance cast. Well, two of them. It's really nice. I'm not sure at what point this is. Is this after Love by Chance, where they're all couples and they're all together? I know that's coming back, so maybe that will answer more of my questions. It was quite a heavy episode. Heavy episode. That relied on us, the audience, to really go there. I thought the whole scene between Type and Long, that was probably one, very emotionally draining for the actors, because usually for an actor, you stay in that frame of mind. You try to stay in that headspace because you don't want to lose it, because if you lose it, you can tell. Because an actor, just they're completely off. And also, Long went from being, in my opinion, sociopathic to psychopathic. The fact that he wanted or could kill Type really shows how deranged he is. and shows just how damaged he is as a human being, that he thinks what he did was okay. I get it. The guys left Tharn just because they thought he cheated. They didn't even try to talk to him. So they weren't ever going to be worth it because they didn't obviously value Tharn like he should be. But Tar did. And the Long got Tar gang raped. He got him drugged and gang raped. That's something you never truly get over. And we've seen this because now Tar's going to France. It's his way of escaping, and you can't escape forever because your ghosts will come back to haunt you. I wish he had told his brother, but obviously we know why. You know, there's more to the story. There's more that, you know, we see of them in other series. But that scene with, I think the actor who plays Long did an amazing job. I do think he's, not the actor, but the character's terrible at lying. And he does a half smirk. But when he cried and when you see the breakdown and him not understanding what's going on to then understanding he lost Tharn forever and he was the one who hurt him the most, that was a great range of emotion. And he was crying on the floor for such a long time. To then, randomly, we see that moment with his sister, who was never mentioned, I don't think, before. Or that he has a brother, but he was never cared for. And hearing those words, I love you, that's all he ever wanted to hear. And he could have found that in someone else, but he clung to Tharn because no one was ever there for him. The fact that he wanted to die highlights that. I'm not excusing what he did, far from it, but it was great to really show that moment, to show you where it all started. Just how alone he is. And he always would have been, even with Tharn, he would have always been alone. Because it always would have been a false memory or a false defense for him. He always would have clung to that thinking that's all that mattered in life, and it's not. So, Type did plan all of this. He is very smart. We've gathered that throughout the episodes, that he is a very smart individual. We've got hints of the other characters saying that about him. It was nice to know how he planned this and why he planned it, and he did a good job in keeping Tharn out of the loop. Until he told his brother, and then obviously he's got a big mouth and told Tharn, which isn't a bad thing because he saved Type's life at the end. And I think it was needed. I think him planning all this was needed. We as the audience also wanted to see Long have his comeuppance. Because he got away with everything, which I still don't understand, because his stories never matched what he was saying. There was always big holes in every story he told. All people had to do was go around to one another, ask each other what was said, and he would have been found out a long time ago. I thought the ice scene was quite a nice callback to their first time when they passed the ice. This time, though, it was the opposite way around. Type passed it to Tharn, so it showed how much they had both grown. Also, Type wasn't as reactionary as he was before. We got to see him think things through. And I think it's because he loves Tharn. I mean, he even said, I love you, and that's something he doesn't like to say. He usually curses you, and that's his way of showing affection. But this time, he really wanted Tharn to know how much he loved him. And yeah, they're young, and yes, it's corny, but it's also nice to see such love for someone. And their relationship is becoming healthier because they're there for one another, and it's not always about fighting and being jealous. It's about building an actual relationship, which is what they did by the end of it. I mean, they're still together 3 years later, so it worked. Trying to figure out what else to say. I would have liked to see the parents at the end, but they weren't needed. Neither was the daughter. It would have been a bit weird, I guess, if they were there. But it would have been nice to see him come home heartbroken to at least the mum and dad as well there. I felt like that could have really brought home how close they are. We saw how close they were because even Long was jealous of them. Something, again, that he's never had a family. There's so much you can do with that character. There's so much they could. I hope we get to see more than just the side story, because as evil as he is, there is so much you could do with that character. There's so much ground to build on, and it would be a really interesting series as well. To go from how he just became so warped to what happens afterwards. I'd like to know what happened to him afterwards. Maybe we'll see that in season 2. I think I'm just going to leave that here, and I probably will. I'll talk more about the show in general when I do my review. So have a good day. Thank you for following TharnType with me, and I will see all of you for Why Are You the series, which will be starting very soon. So have a good day.